So one of the major things that I've realized that helped my career was actually giving purpose to my work, right? So, especially when I was in early in my career, when I was working in the corporate world, working at, technology consultant, I didn't really have a purpose for my work. And I realized it was actually causing me stress. So it was causing me challenges because I didn't really know why I was doing it. Even though I had a lot of success, very quickly, I went from, working at Oracle as a technical analyst, technology analyst, and then became a director within about 5 years for one of the biggest media companies in the world. Even though I did that, I felt like my work was not as fulfilling. I didn't feel like I was doing my best after that. And then I felt a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety because I feel like there was, I couldn't figure out why I was doing it. So what I discover now, especially, when I'm studying coaching and counseling, having a strong why or having a strong reason why you're doing it, strong purpose to why you're doing it can literally help you bear much challenges in your life, right? Like, for example, I'm running these sessions and I'm, publishing videos on YouTube. I'm writing articles. I'm doing coaching, and also I'm doing, I'm doing my master's, right? So a lot of things that I'm doing, but the thing is now these things that I'm doing is not stressing me as much. They're not giving me anxiety because I have a very strong purpose of, bringing happiness, joy, love, compassion to the world, compassion to others. And I want to create academies and colleges or, academies for people where they would, come to learn, they would also work, volunteer. So I want to create these things for people. So the work I'm doing, I have given it a strong purpose, right? So, it could be whether you're, helping a client, right? Or supporting your family, contributing to a cause, right? Um, Ask yourself whether you're doing these things for these things and align your task with this higher intention that you have created for yourself. So I know the things that I'm doing for what I'm doing right now, it is actually for a higher cause, right? And also doing it for, helping my clients because I've been in much of the situation you probably been. And then I thought it would be a good idea for me to share that information or share information that have been useful for me. So one of the things, I'll tell you a story. When I was in my career, when I was, about 3 4 years into my career, I felt that I needed to talk to somebody, a mentor, a counselor, or a coach, and I couldn't really find anyone who would understand my situation. And even when I talked to my friends about it, I feel like they didn't really understand it completely what I was going through. So, and then I really struggled with that. I felt that I made a lot of mistakes because I couldn't really express and learn from somebody who is more knowledgeable or been there and done that. So, what I did now, what I'm doing now is becoming that coach or the counselor or the mentor that people miss or people don't have. And that is now my purpose. Is my own struggle, on my own challenges, my own pain and suffering has now given me purpose to become that person that I didn't have, right? To create, courses and colleges or academies that I wish that I went to, right? One of the main things when I was in university or in, doing program, I was never taught how to, manage stress, how to create an action plan, how to set goals. So these things were not really explicitly talked about. Even things like, how to, give public speaking, how public speeches, right? How to write effectively. There's a lot of academic writing, but when you're communicating with other people, you need to write differently in a way that is simple to understand, that other people can quickly understand what you're saying. So now what I've done is the challenges that I went through have become my purpose, right? So if you're going through challenges and situations that are difficult for you, right, give a purpose. This is happening for the greater good. I'm going to use these challenges to bring the greater good for all, including myself. And that's one of the main affirmations or beliefs that I'm developing. Again, it's not a belief I had for what long time, But I realized giving purpose to my challenges, giving purpose to my tasks, a higher intention, has tremendously helped me alleviate the stress. Because every time I get stressed out, I think, okay, no, I'm doing it for others. I'm doing it to bring greater good for all. So what's the problem, right? So I kind of ask myself that. And then I realized that for me have alleviated a lot of the stress that I've gone through. Purpose, one of the things that you realize is purpose lives in service as well. So when you can dedicate your work to someone, right, your team, your client, your loved one, your family, for yourself, even for humanity, we are here for, more, 80 to 100 years. Like, what is the contribution? What is the maximum contribution you can help the world while you're here? So those are some of the questions I started to ask. And then I realized then your work itself, the service itself that you're providing, it becomes just a job, and it becomes a gift that you can give the world, right? So that's one of the main ways that I found to be most effective in order to give a purpose to the work, and the work itself becoming more enjoyable to do. It could be, when I mean by work, it could be, the school work you're doing, or the actual professional work you're doing, right? So that's one of the main things that I would recommend for you to think about when you're managing your stress and working through challenges in life, challenges at work, challenges in life. Okay. So we'll talk about how do you actually think about it a little bit more. So, many of us, we talk about, many of probably see the importance of managing their self-talk, right? Inner dialogue. So without even we knowing, right? Sometimes our mind goes like, this is boring, this is too difficult. I don't want to do this, right? So instead of doing that, I actively tell people, because even people might think like, having these thoughts doesn't have a real impact on yourself or on me. But what I found is that just thinking something is boring can create a certain level of emotions that are not preferable. It can make you feel more low or dull, right? So, but if you can think of it like, this is building the work you're doing, right? This is building discipline. The work or the school assignments you're doing can support someone's life, including yourself or other people. It really helps you develop more energy, more anticipation, and more love with your work. So that's one of the main things when I was in university I did. Was I used to think as the work I was doing, I'm training myself to become I studied at that time psychology, right? I'm still studying psychology. I'm training myself to become a really great psychologist or psychotherapist, right? Even when I was studying business courses, that's what one of the main things I thought, what, some of these assignments are hard or challenging. So I literally look at my assignments and, challenges as they are small workshops that I'm working on in order to become better, in order to develop discipline, in order to develop abilities in myself, right? And, when I'm working now, even if things get a little bit more, some of the repetitive work that I had to do, I can see that, no, this is actually supporting somebody's life. It's actually making someone's life better. So that's one of the main ways that I've started to reframe my own thinking that now have led to better levels of, I would say, stress, or lower levels of stress. Okay, so that's something for you to pay attention to. And I remember a time when I was when I was working for Oracle. I think that was one of the most hardest jobs I've done, because I felt, we were working, about 10 hours a day, but it was literally, we were working with, other companies and their marketing departments and their tech teams. So we were getting calls nonstop asking, okay, we have this problem, we have that problem with the software, we have this problem, and we have to work on a lot of problems back to back. And I was like, man, why is this so much? Why is it so challenging? Why is this difficult? So what I realized, I told myself, look, I'm now in a master's program for technology, right? I literally gave that person, I'm learning how to become even better in the future. So the year and a half I worked there, I looked at it as like, this is my master's program that I am doing to become better at technology, or become better at, management skills and business skills, because that's literally what we were working on. People would call us and say, you know what, how do we create a marketing journey for our clients? And we would need to come up with answers for it on the spot. All right. We didn't have time to even research. So what I did was I realized that certain problems were continually coming. So what I did was I would go and research, okay, how do you actually create a marketing journey? How do you find your ideal customer? Right. So all these things, I gave a purpose, right? I gave a purpose to my work challenges, my frustrations. I gave purpose to my responsibilities, so that it will help me develop patience, resilience. For me, it was leadership, management skills, technology skills, and even creativity. Okay, so that's how some of your work can help you, if you were to perceive it that way, or if you were to view it that way. And if you want to do it for other people, some of you are focused on helping others or want to contribute to the world, so you can say your work is actually supporting somebody's life, their family, or their company. So it's important to remind yourself these things so that you can use this mentality to actually reduce stress, reduce anxiety, and contribute to the world in a way that is you're happy with, right? Or it could be contribute to your family, somebody's family, in a way that is you're happy with, right? One of the things I see in my life is that we are not, our challenges and problems are very different. We all want great jobs. We all want to improve our business, how we do business. We all want to be happy. So we all want to have good friends. We all like to eat good food, right? So our challenges are not very different, but the thing is how we see it and how we help each other and guide each other from that is actually made a huge difference. So understand your work that you do, or the work that you're planning to do if you're in school, can transform somebody's life. And the more you can see the work you have to do in a positive light, the more easier it becomes for you. Okay, so that's very important aspect.